You know what's crazy? How often we give everything to someone who doesn't see our worth. We pour our love, our energy, our time, our soul into a person or relationship that keeps taking and never really gives back. And what's worse, we convince ourselves that if we just love them harder, if we just try more, they'll finally see us. But that's the trap. That's how you lose yourself piece by piece in the name of love that was never meant to complete you. You start out strong. You start out knowing who you are. You have dreams, laughter, boundaries, a sense of self. Then someone walks into your life and you think this is the one who'll understand me. But somewhere along the way the relationship becomes more about keeping them happy than keeping yourself whole. You start bending, adjusting, minimizing your needs and calling it compromise. But let's be honest, it's not compromise when only one person is doing the changing. That's sacrifice. And too often, it's self-destruction disguised as love. There's this moment. And if you've ever been there, you'll know what I mean. When you wake up one day and realize you don't even recognize yourself anymore. You look in the mirror and see someone who smiles when they're hurting, who apologizes for things they didn't do, who's walking on eggshells just to keep the peace. That's not love. That's fear wearing love's mask. That's a desperate attempt to hold on to someone who's already slipping away, even if it means losing yourself in the process. You start believing that your worth depends on whether they choose you. That if you're good enough, calm enough, understanding enough, they'll stay. But real love doesn't make you beg for respect. Real love doesn't demand you silence your voice just to be heard. Real love doesn't leave you feeling empty, anxious, or unseen. I've seen it. People who are smart, kind, powerful completely lose their light because they handed it to someone else to protect. And let me tell you, no one will protect your light like you can. You have to stop waiting for someone to value you. You have to value yourself first. You have to stop pouring into a cup that has holes at the bottom. You can't fill someone who refuses to hold water. Here's the thing no one tells you about love. Sometimes love is not enough. Sometimes love isn't the problem. The lack of respect is. The lack of effort is. The imbalance is you can love someone deeply and still need to walk away. You can love someone with every cell in your body and still choose yourself. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. Because when love costs you your peace, it's too expensive. I know you think leaving means giving up, but leaving a love that doesn't value you isn't quitting. It's choosing survival. It's saying, I deserve more than being half loved. You have one life, one heart, one chance to live as your full self. Why spend it dimming your light for someone who never bothered to look at you properly in the first place? The truth is, you teach people how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. If you keep accepting less than you deserve, you're setting the price tag for your soul. You're saying, I'm okay being undervalued. But when you draw a line, when you say, no more, that's when you start rewriting the story. That's when you start taking your power back. Sometimes the bravest thing you'll ever do is walk away from what you thought you couldn't live without. Sometimes the greatest act of self-love is silence. Not because you've run out of things to say, but because you're done explaining your worth. There's power in walking away without bitterness, without revenge, without proving anything. Just peace. Because your healing doesn't need their validation. People stay in toxic love because they confuse attachment with connection. You tell yourself it's love, but what it really is fear of being alone. You'd rather stay in familiar pain than face the unknown. But the unknown is where your healing lies. The unknown is where you rebuild. And yes, it's hard, it's lonely, it's terrifying at first, but it's also where you find your voice again. You are not too much. You are not too emotional. You are not asking for too much. You are simply asking the wrong person to give you something they're not capable of giving. Stop shrinking yourself so they can feel big. Stop apologizing for wanting love that's honest, deep, and mutual. You deserve love that doesn't hurt to hold. Here's what happens when you start choosing yourself. You change the entire dynamic. You stop chasing. You stop begging. You stop accepting crumbs and calling it a meal. You start showing up with confidence, boundaries, and clarity. And let me tell you, that scares people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. But that's okay. You're not responsible for their comfort. You're responsible for your peace. You can't keep saving people who are comfortable drowning. You can't keep rescuing someone who doesn't want to be rescued. Love doesn't mean losing yourself in someone else's chaos. Love means standing strong enough to say, I'll help you, but I won't destroy myself to do it. The version of you that keeps settling, that keeps overgiving, that keeps hoping they'll change, that version of you needs rest. That version of you is tired. You've been running on empty trying to earn love when love was never supposed to be earned. It was supposed to be given freely. And I know walking away feels like failure, but the truth is it's rebirth. It's rediscovery. It's you saying, I deserve more than this. You don't heal by staying in the fire. You heal by stepping out of it. You rebuild by choosing yourself every single day, even when it hurts, even when you miss them, even when you doubt it. Healing is not pretty. It's messy, raw, and uncomfortable. But it's real. And one day, you'll look back and realize that losing them wasn't the end of your story. It was the beginning of your freedom. You'll realize that the love you were begging for was never meant to come from them. It was meant to come from you. You can't keep giving your heart to people who only show up when it's convenient. You can't keep waiting for someone to see your value while you're busy proving it. Love should never be a performance. Love should never make you question your worth. The most powerful thing you can ever do is learn how to love yourself so deeply that you stop chasing people who can't meet you where you are. When you love yourself, you set the standard. You stop settling for temporary validation and start demanding genuine connection. People often say, but I can't just stop loving them. And no, you can't, not instantly. But you can stop betraying yourself in the name of love. You can stop abandoning your needs to protect theirs. You can stop letting love become an excuse for pain. Because love should build you, not break you. You are not here to be half-loved. You are not here to fix people at the expense of your sanity. You are here to grow, to thrive, to love in a way that doesn't destroy you. The kind of love you deserve doesn't require you to disappear to make someone else comfortable. So stop losing yourself to love that doesn't value you. Stop waiting for someone to see you when you've been right here all along, waiting for your own acknowledgement. Your healing begins the moment you realize that your worth isn't up for negotiation. You don't have to prove your value. You are valuable. You don't have to chase love. Love will meet you when you start living in alignment with who you really are. Love that asks you to lose yourself isn't love, it's dependency. Love that demands your silence isn't love, it's control. Love that makes you doubt your own intuition isn't love, it's manipulation. Real love, the kind that lasts, celebrates your individuality. It challenges you but never diminishes you. It supports you without suffocating you. And here's what I've learned: once you stop settling, once you stop chasing, once you stop begging, you create space for the right love to find you. You create space for peace, for clarity, for self-respect. You stop attracting chaos because chaos no longer feels familiar. You start attracting what matches your healing, not your wounds. So take a breath, let them go. Let the version of you that needed their love rest in peace. You're stepping into a new chapter now, one where you're no longer the supporting character in someone else's story, but the author of your own. You are not broken. You are rediscovering yourself. The next time you feel like calling or texting that person who made you feel small, remind yourself you're not looking for closure. You're looking for connection with someone who couldn't meet you there. And that's okay. You don't need closure from them. You need closure within yourself. You close the chapter by saying, I learned, I grew. Now, I let go. Because love should never cost you yourself. You don't owe anyone the version of yourself that existed just to make them comfortable. You don't owe anyone the silence you used to keep the peace. The moment you start standing up for your peace, for your joy, for your sanity, that's the moment you start living. Because the truth is, you can't love anyone properly when you're constantly abandoning yourself. Think about it. How can you pour from an empty cup? How can you keep giving when your spirit's exhausted? Self-love isn't selfish, it's survival. It's the foundation of every healthy relationship you'll ever have. The way you love yourself teaches others how to love you. If you keep tolerating disrespect, you're showing the world what you think you deserve. And when you finally say, enough, the world starts listening differently. It's not easy to unlearn the habit of shrinking. You were probably taught from a young age to be nice, to be agreeable, to avoid conflict. You were told that being loved meant being pleasing, but being loved at the cost of your voice isn't love. It's submission. Love that's real allows you to be fully seen. It doesn't ask you to twist yourself into something smaller just to fit into someone's limited idea of who you should be. I want you to remember this: the right person won't need you to prove your worth. They'll see it, they'll honor it, they'll protect it. But before that happens, you have to see it yourself. Because when you love yourself deeply, you stop entertaining what's not aligned with that love. You stop chasing people who only show up halfway. You stop explaining your value to those committed to misunderstanding you. You begin to realize that peace is more important than passion that burns you out. Respect is more important than attention. Consistency is more important than chemistry. Because love that values you is steady, calm, and safe. It doesn't confuse you, it grounds you. Some of you are holding on to relationships that have already ended emotionally. You're staying because you're scared of starting over, because you've invested so much time, because you believe that leaving means failing. But staying in something that's breaking you isn't loyalty, it's fear. You don't heal by clinging to what's gone. You heal by trusting that something better is waiting once you let go. Here's the hard truth: the love you crave, the deep, healthy, soul level love, won't arrive while you're busy settling for what hurts. You have to clear space for it. You have to be brave enough to walk away from what isn't love, even when your heart still cares. Healing requires courage. It means choosing yourself in moments when everything inside you wants to choose them. But you have to remember you can love someone and still let them go, because loving them doesn't mean losing you. Every time you betray yourself for love, a little piece of your confidence disappears. But every time you choose yourself, every time you say, "No, I deserve better," you rebuild that confidence. You create a new standard. You start attracting people who meet you where you are, not people who drain you just to keep you around. You will miss them. You will think about them. Your heart will achy. That's part of the process. But one day, you'll wake up and realize that the peace you feel now is worth every bit of pain it took to find it. You'll breathe deeper. You'll laugh easier. You'll walk lighter because you'll finally be living in alignment with your truth. And maybe that's what love was meant to teach you all along. Not how to hold on, but how to let go. Not how to prove your worth to someone else, but how to never doubt it yourself. You are allowed to outgrow people. You are allowed to outgrow the version of yourself that thought pain was love. You are allowed to rewrite your story. The past doesn't define you, it refines you. The heartbreak you've been through wasn't a punishment. It was preparation. It was preparing you to meet yourself, to find strength you didn't know you had, to finally see your own value without anyone else's validation. Stop waiting for someone to come back and apologize. Stop waiting for them to change. Stop replaying the moments that broke you. You can't rewrite the past, but you can create a future where your heart feels safe again. The only apology you really need is the one you give yourself for all the times you ignored your intuition, for all the times you put someone else's happiness above your own, for all the times you thought love had to hurt. Forgive yourself for staying too long. Forgive yourself for believing their potential instead of their reality. Forgive yourself for thinking that loving them harder could save them, because it wasn't your job to save them. It was your job to save yourself. And now you are. You're waking up to who you've always been: strong, worthy, capable of love that doesn't require self-sacrifice. You're learning that the person you needed all along was never them. It was you. You are the love that you've been searching for. There's a calm that comes when you finally stop fighting for what's not meant for you. When you stop chasing, stop convincing, stop over-explaining. You start realizing that the right people don't need to be chased. They choose you willingly. They show up because they want to, not because you beg them to. That's what love that values you feels like: peaceful, secure, mutual. So take this season of your life and use it to rebuild yourself. Fall in love with your own company. Learn what makes you happy again. Get comfortable with being alone. Because once you do, you'll never accept being with the wrong person just to fill a void. Solitude isn't loneliness, it's power. It's where you reconnect with your intuition, your purpose, your strength. Every time you choose peace over chaos, you're healing. Every time you say no to what doesn't serve you, you're growing. Every time you stop trying to prove your worth and just live it, you're stepping into your power. And when love comes again, and it will, you'll be ready. You'll walk into it whole, not half. You won't be looking for someone to complete you. You'll be looking for someone who complements you. You won't settle for potential. You'll choose partnership. You won't confuse attachment with love, attention with affection, or comfort with connection. You'll know better, because you'll be better. That's the kind of transformation that heartbreak brings if you let it. It teaches you boundaries. It teaches you self-respect. It teaches you to stop romanticizing inconsistency. It shows you that peace is not boring. Peace is beautiful. So when that old love crosses your mind, smile. Not because you want them back, but because you finally understand why it had to end. You'll realize that losing them was never really a loss. It was the moment you found yourself again. You have to trust that the universe doesn't take without giving. Every ending is a beginning in disguise. Every heartbreak is an invitation to grow. Every time you let go of what doesn't value you, you make space for something that will. You're not broken because someone couldn't love you right. Their inability to value you doesn't define your worth. You were whole before they came, and you're whole now. You were never hard to love. They were simply unequipped to love you deeply. Don't let their lack of awareness make you question your beauty, your strength, your heart. The next time you feel that ache, remind yourself, healing isn't about forgetting them, it's about remembering you. It's about coming home to yourself after years of being lost in someone else. It's about realizing that you were never too much. You were just too real for someone who wasn't ready. Stop losing yourself to love that doesn't value you. Love yourself so fiercely that you become the standard. Let your boundaries be loud. Let your peace be sacred. Let your growth be your revenge. And when the right love finds you, and it will meet you in your wholeness, not your wounds. Because the truth is, love that values you doesn't ask you to shrink, it helps you expand. It doesn't silence your voice, it amplifies it. It doesn't drain you, it fills you. That's the love you were always meant for. But it starts with the love you give yourself. You've already survived the hardest part, staying in something that didn't see you. Now it's time to rise, rebuild, and remember who you are. You are the storm and the calm. You are the lesson and the light. And you are, without a doubt, worthy of love that values every part of you. So take a deep breath. Let go. Trust the process. You're not losing, you're finding yourself. And that's the most beautiful love story of all.